Welcome back to the Sports Update. You're just in time to hear from Stoney from 97.1 The Ticket about a variety of topics.
How are you, Dave?
Doing well, Stoney. How about yourself?
Not too bad.
Well, Tigers are doing pretty well. 5 of their last 7 meetings, 1 over the Angels, looking pretty sharp. Jim Leyland and company now getting ready to head to Kansas City Tuesday for a 3-game series. Justin Verlander on the mound on Tuesday.
Well, you know, you have a week where you win 5 of your 6 games. You sweep Toronto. You don't look good doing it offensively. The bat's still not the way you want them to be, but, you know, really good starting pitching all week, and for the most part, the bullpen did well. You know, they lose 1 game Friday night where Porcello pitched pretty well. Smiley yesterday, and Scherzer was great. And you got to give some guys credit, guys that I on the radio have been dogging for a long time. A guy like Delman Young, he's been doing really well. You know, nice home run today, and doing it without Miggy today. That's kind of nice as well. You know, they're not out of the woods yet. Obviously, they're still behind the White Sox, who continue to be really hot. And that's going to be, you know, this weekend, the White Sox are calling to Comerica, so it's going to be crazy here for this weekend. And it's you know, they have 7 games left with them. 3 games this weekend, and then they have 4 in Chicago later. Got to take care of business with that. And if they can beat the White Sox 5 out of the 7, I think they'll be okay.
You mentioned Scherzer. Boy, did he sparkle. 9 strikeouts in 7 innings for his 14th win. One of the best pitchers in the league, I would say.
He's one of the best pitchers in the league the last 2 months of the season. And his strikeout ratio is one of the best in baseball, if not the best. He's taken over the league in strikeouts past Verlander. Like to see his pitch count get a little lower. I know Jim Leyland said the exact same thing, because when you have all those strikeouts, you know, it takes a lot of pitches. He always has that one shaky inning, but he got out of it today very nicely. He's done a really good job. The only thing that's disconcerting right now a little bit, Austin Jackson struggling a little bit. Jim Leyland even said, you know, he kind of messed up by not resting him today, maybe give him an extra day off because they're all off tomorrow. And by the way, Andy Dirks should play every game. Jim Leyland has no excuse for never penciling in Andy Dirks unless he really cools off. But he batted 3rd today. You bat him 2nd, you bat him 5th, you bat him 9th. It doesn't make a difference. The guy just hits.
I think Leland made a good decision in not putting Miguel Cabrera in the lineup. Let him rest that sore right ankle, keep him fresh. I'm told that he's kind of on the fence, but probably will have Cabrera play in the series against the Royals.
And probably play 3rd base is what he said.
Probably 3rd base, exactly. Yeah. Like he will. No more DHing. He's done enough of that. Okay, moving on now. Lions lost yesterday, we saw, against the Raiders, but the bigger story, all of the guys banged up. Matthew Stafford left non-throwing hand, swelled up really bad. X-rays were negative, but boy, where do we begin with the list? Chris Houston, you know the drill.
Well, Stafford, obviously, everything surrounds him. He says he's okay, so I'm not worried about him. Houston and Bentley getting hurt, you know, we'll have to see how that goes, because the defensive backfield, as you know, is the biggest weakness of the team. I would have loved to see them trying to pull off what the Indianapolis Colts did, get Vontae Davis for a 2nd-round pick. But in all fairness, the Colts' 2nd-round pick is going to be better than if the Lions offered a 2nd-round pick. So maybe the Lions did try to do something like that, and Miami elected to go with Indianapolis's deal. But, you know, about last night, you know, I don't care that they lost the game, that the 2nd and 3rd stringers got shredded pretty good in the 2nd half. But what bothered me is still the inability to really run the football. The offensive line has got to do a better job. LeSure was okay. I know the stats don't show it, but he made guys miss tackles in the backfield where he had no chance. And Kevin Smith getting hurt as well. So that's the thing that bothered me a little bit. And the defensive line, we've talked about the secondary. Defensive line has to be more of a presence. You know, I'm not worried that they lost the game, but you know, the 3rd exhibition game is usually the most important. I'd like to see the D-line put a little more pressure to get help for those guys in the defensive secondary.
And by the way, Kevin Smith, that right ankle injury, X-rays were also negative. Good. So all expected back for the season opener against the Rams on September 9th. But
right.
Not too much worried for Coach Schwartz. You have a couple days, a few weeks to get ready for that. So I wouldn't really worry too much there for Coach Schwartz. Okay, moving on now. College football. Michigan State has its season opener against Boise State at home. We talked about the Spartans, one of the best defensive lines in the country. Yep. Michigan the next day against Alabama in Arlington, Texas.
Spartans picked a great season to play Boise State. I mean, Kellen Moore's here with the Lions. They lost a lot of their defensive line to the NFL. But, you know, Boise, you know, they're always going to be a tough team with some crazy offensive plays. Not going to be an easy game. I do expect Michigan State to win the game. And, you know, looking down the line, I think Michigan State, I think they go 10-2. And I think Michigan goes 9-3. And the game against Alabama, I don't expect Fitzgerald Toussaint to play, but we haven't heard officially yet, and I don't expect him to win anyway. I mean, everybody talks about, well, Alabama's defense lost all those guys to the NFL. I'm sorry, those teams, Alabama teams, reload. And you talk about the offensive line, they have a great offensive line. They also have a experienced quarterback. Obviously, Michigan with Denard as an experienced quarterback. It should be a good game. I would not expect Michigan to win the game. I would love to be wrong. It would be great if they could beat the Crimson Tide and shut the SEC fans up for a second, but they're the best right now.
Okay, so saving this one for you. Roger Clemens, Sugarland Skeeters down there in the Houston area.
All right.
Where do we begin?
This isn't no little league thing, okay? This is Roger Clemens, okay? He is, I hope I can say this, an attention whore. He's always been one. And he says, Dave, that, you know, it's not a publicity stunt. Here's what Roger Clemens is doing. He's hoping that he showed enough in his few innings of work again in that kind of minor league baseball where the Astros, that team, is horrible, that maybe he can, you know, pitch a couple of innings or maybe pitch one game for the Houston Astros. You know what that would do? That sets his Hall of Fame deal back 5 years. So he hopes maybe in 5 years everybody will forget about the steroid stuff and he can make the Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens, attention whore, Stonehead!
You have heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Stoney, weekday 6 to 10 a.m., 97.1 The Ticket. We appreciate it as always.
All righty.
Stoney's Stonehead of the Week is brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, the best mortgage bankers. Call 1-800-LOW-RATE.